In 2010, I want to note that there's a very, well, if you believe in coincidence theories, as David Icke so aptly put it, I give credit where credit is due. If I'm going to use somebody else's words, you know, unless I go, can I use that? And take, you know, just run with it because you don't have a channel. And people go, yeah, fine. But if they go, no, you give me credit, well, then I decide. If I'm going to use your colloquial. But yeah, he got it. Conspiracy theorists are crazy. Well, what I think is really crazy is coincidence theorists. Coinky-dinky. I was about to say coinky-dinky theorists. Ooh. Well, that's a coinky-dink theory. Again and again and again. It's a fact that over 200 NASA scientists, workers, high-placed individuals working for NASA, mysteriously died in suicides. Where, you know, some of these suicides, 2 bullets to the head. I don't know. You know, I think 1 bullet suffice when you want to kill yourself. But the favorite and most popular method of killing people is the accident. And their favorite accident, it seems, if it's an accident that's contrived to look like an accident, it's really murder. Because it's the best way to get away with murder is make it look like an accident. You know, drop a hairdryer in the bathtub. Put part of the poison in the drink at the restaurant or serve them a beer, and then the other part of the compound to activate the poison 2 weeks later at another cocktail party, if you know the person or the targeted individual's routine. I've been staying away from routine, doing hotels, driving, and just pulling off the side of the road. You don't know where I'm going next, and you don't know where I'm getting my cash. I'm just very, very versatile. Painter, performer, comedian, designer, floor coating specialist, and an applicator. And I sell shit on the internet. You're a sellout. No, I survive, so I gotta work. I don't know how you make your money. Buddy who puts up videos every day. Suddenly I have 40,000 subscribers. Pushing down. If that car that came flying out of an alley in 2010, and I was very, very vocal about flat earth in my studio, online, and on comedy stages, and I leaked it on French television, and I pretty much got banned after that, and I pretty much got banned from having an acting career. But it was the acting career that gave me credibility to go on stage, and it was going on stage amidst 1,000 people or 100 people or even 10 people, intimately talking about very heavy issues and showing the absurdity of them and getting the consensus of laughter by people. But this is ridiculous and bullshit that they're trying to pull this wool over our eyes. And I get consensus of laughter in the crowds. And that vocation as a comedian got me more roles as an actor. Finally, I eked my way onto live television, and I leaped into the world.
On est supposé de regarder ça puis dire ah si ouais c'est vrai. Mais comment tu vas savoir vraiment que ça a l'air de ça? Ouais, ça a l'air de ça. D'être là. Tu sais là, ouais, ça a l'air de ça du point de vue que je vais jamais voir. On fucking envelle ça, ouais.
You know, right now, France is in media blackout. There's hundreds and millions of people flooding the streets, battling out with police. But I'll tell you this, France and the French might have been late coming into this fight about the earth not being a ball, but when they found out one of their own, moi ici, aujourd'hui, qui vous parle, toute la francophonie, tout partout le monde, de Québec à la France, right, all the way to l'Algérie, le Maroc, the Belgique. We're looking at hundreds of millions of French people around the world. French television was the first one to legitimately look at the fact there are no real photos of our Earth as a ball. All are artwork.
Or, c'est tout le contraire. Quand je vous parle de dessin pour les images de la Terre, ça va tellement loin qu'il y a même certaines photos, et une qui est très connue, une photo prise par Apollo de la Terre pleine, où on voit carrément les nuages de la Terre qui sont en fait faites en copier-coller, et vous avez des formes de nuages qui sont doublées, triplées, etc. On voit vraiment qu'il s'agit d'un montage.
And there's no real-time video of our real Earth as a globe, full ball, doing just one rotation of a day in time-lapse, 24 hours. Not sped up, CGI, just one day of real time from any telescope or Hubble or anything. That's up there any second. French television. Documentary on this. Not even citing me, but whatever. I'm the guy who smashed your world. And when they tried to kill me with an accident in 2010, and I went flying, and many people look at my ripped jeans in the video Immediate Resurrection, which was filmed, I believe, part of my trauma of like flying from a car that was trying to hit me, and I hit it before it hit me in a split second, into the air and landing on my head for trying to tell you about you're being sprayed and the Earth isn't a cartoon that you worship as real. That's a cartoon. Very detailed cartoon, but a painting and a cartoon nonetheless. A graven image. Isn't it funny how the Bible warns you about that? Yet you have a graven image for a white, blonde Jesus. You have a graven image for God's creation as a ball. You call yourself Christian. And you got these donors. I'll get to them in a second. But if that car would have hit me instead of me hitting it in that split second, coming out of the alley, that sharp corner, side of the building, I would have been here today, and you would not even be talking about the flat Earth. You'd still be getting your NASA weekly treat. Do you remember the weekly treat? The NASA weekly treat? And we just discovered this planet. And then they would show you a little artist rendering. It drove me nuts. I said, I will accomplish this. If I don't accomplish getting the word out that it's flat, starting the debate, I will do whatever it takes to tell you those little treats that they call proof of some satellite exploration are paintings. And I will stop those little visual traits. And I have. You notice they don't have a weekly like galaxy or planet or moon anymore? There'd be no flat Earth right now if it wasn't for me surviving that hit. It'd be nothing. I'd be dead. Or am I dead? And I'm in an alternate reality and I've pulled people into it. Or there's no such thing as death. You don't know what death is. You have to believe it now. What if I'm just in the lateral alternate reality? I died in that reality I was in because I suffered a major head wound. My eyeball was completely getting pressure from the inflammation that was forming on my head. No, I already knew it was flat before the accident. That's why I got the hit. Couldn't get the police report for 2 years. When I finally got it, sections were whited out. And the cops wrote, Driver was driving slowly. Now that guy was doing 60 miles an hour in an alley, and when I pushed myself up from my puddle of blood that was leaking out of my head, I felt liquid coming out of my head. I turned around, saw the car, and there was a car here and a car there. This was the opening of that alley. Building was there, the car there, the car there. This was the area, the road, and the car that came out. I saw 4 officers coming out of that car with SWAT gear on, bulletproof vests, and right here in this car, another 3. What were they doing parked there? I didn't lose consciousness. God forbid if I did. I wouldn't be here today. I was spared from pain. My teeth were loose when I got up. There was blood all over. And this was going like a Flintstones bone. Putting pressure on my eye. And I began to scream. Get me some ice. The minute I saw those little Satan's little helpers with the little Pentagon badge coming out of those unmarked cars, those cars so coinkadinkily placed there just to pick up the trash, and all these cops like around me. Oh, like they tried to poison dart or tranquilize a big lion, but the lion didn't fall. Doing that. I saw my head in the reflection of that car. I saw them prancing around me. I felt my teeth loose in the front. I saw my face, and I'm like, my acting career is done. I had all this ripped off. This was all busted. You still see it, it's crooked. Still crooked, my nostril. It's a prosthetic nose. Still have a bump here, a little lesion here. When I get stressed out, you'll see it. I have a tumor in my left ear from bringing down the inflammation. All the inflammation through acupuncture went out. The eustachian tube popped right out of my eardrum. And my brain is missing healing the eardrum. So it's piling up the skin. And if it keeps growing, it will burst the bone barrier between my middle ear and my brain. I'll be dead in 48 hours. Okay? So, nothing to lose. In a matter of months, there will come a day where half of the World Wide Web's content and communications will be only flat Earth. Once half of the world's content being exchanged is about the Earth not being a ball, that's when you're going to see an acceleration of panic by the establishment. And then you see them accelerating on how they're trying to bring up conspiracy theorists, wackos, and extremists. They're rushing now. And I'm going to make them spill the coffee on their keyboard now. Instead of me dropping my hard drives, trying to make it to work, taking that only route to that theater where I did the world's first fractal floor because of the train track layout of the city. That was the route. My computer screen was on. I told the girl I was dating that I loved at the time. I'll go get the sample, hon. Stay here. I know it's hard. I said, that on the, I said that out loud in my studio while the laptop screen was up, phone was up. And that was the way I went every day. They got me that day. They didn't get me. And it's also the grace of some very honorable American government officials, bureaucrats, technocrats, and individuals, and even some fence sitters who want to see the whole battle play out, to see how strong their model really was. Because it's their vampire's model. If there should be one that sees the lie, we must accept the duel. But they're cheating. My emails don't get out to my clients. They don't see the links to my shows. They don't see the links to my artwork. It says content unavailable on YouTube. Email, failure delivery. Error 404. What's your site called again? Matt the Artist. I can't find that. It's Matt, M-A-T-H, the Artist. I'm looking here and I don't see nothing. But I do see 2 pages on Google slandering you as a government psychological operation. Always just enough money to continue. Don't complain, slave. You're an art slave. That's the best slave of them all. We can't replace you by AI or a robot. You should feel privileged that you even make money. Isn't that interesting? The few Jewish clients I did have, I had to lose those because a fake came in and had to espouse hatred towards Jewish people with all my research on globalism being a fraud. How clever. How tactical. Like a speeding car coming in an alley will take me out. Or a bunch of has-been wannabe celebrities, a porn star, and a bad preset vocalist rapper who can't sing. Like as if they're casting a really bad comedy reality show where they're going to take a bunch of twits and wannabe celebrities on a snowcat with Neil deGrasse Tyson across Antarctica. Don't think they're not going to fake an expedition. They're memeing. They're dancing with the fakes they inserted between the establishment and me. So instead of addressing me, which would draw millions to my research, they get to address those that handicap my research with prejudice and even grosser, fantastical speculation than the academic heresy committed by the globalist science. Even more rudimentary artwork with a glass ceiling. I asked these twits, how do you know, can you prove there's a glass ceiling? It's sapphire. How do you know? Sapphire's blue. Oh my God. That's like saying, I see round things, therefore I'm a round thing. I see a blue thing. Have you seen a chunk of glass falling yet? Oh, it's ice. That's funny when you go really high up. The clouds that make the rain and the ice and the snow and the hail and the sleet, they stop at a certain level because of the barometric pressure density of the ether. The cold is heavier than the hot. So the clouds only go so high on this known face of the earth, known to you. So if I would have died with that bicycle accident, like so many NASA scientists, there'd be no flat earth right now. You wouldn't even be seeing me. You would slowly continue under your trance of globalism towards sleep. Make no mistake. Project Blue Beam will be the flat Earth. They have no choice. But which flat Earth? The flat Earth that will still have carbon tax, scarce resources, war porn, nation division, racism because of a finite amount of dirt? Flat Earth? Or the flat Earth where it's like, fuck it, I got the map, there's another continent that way. See you, bully. I ain't paying taxes. I'm gonna go get some land over here, plant my own garden away from your toxic, poisonous, genetically modified mutant food, and I'm gonna live with a wife and have 10 kids, farm the land, teach them how to paint and make music and instruments. Fuck you. A lot of you. But if it's a dome, there's nothing to rejoice about. You still got the same amount of turf. Population's still growing inside a dome. It's worse because you're going back to the middle evil, the medieval. It's funny how you forget that the word evil is an entire era before Columbus found more land. And when he found more land, what was that? What happened? It was the Renaissance. You can't have a Renaissance in the medieval era with, a flat disc in a bubble dome. They got you for living on a bubble, you got a dome on top of you, and you got a dome underneath. Wow, that's funny how they did that. You're no longer on the ball, you're in the ball. And where's your proof? Rainbows? No, the rainbow hits the ground, but that spectrum, that semicircle of color caused by the humidity and the air, would continue if there wasn't a ground. Take a hose, spray it above you, you'll see a halo of rainbows because of rainbows. Rainbows say, again, that's a reflection of it's a small dome after all. You're back to the small world. And you don't know about the other lands and the second sun and the third sun all rotating around these big, huge geothermal ponds. Are you that brainwashed into Stockholm Syndrome dependency that you're still going to limit yourself to the amount of continents they showed you on a spinning, whizzing blue testicle around the sun? But now it's a dome? I'll tell you right now, they would love to have you all domed in a cage and worshiping some overlord that you think is God. That will be disclosure, and that will be blue beam. Look at how it's proliferating the web, populating the pages. I'm going to help you navigate between the fakes and me and the reals. The mark of a shill, a fake flat earther, is to contain the movement while pushing the party line. The party line here is social welfare communist state, libtard, government handout. That's right, we feed you. We decide whether you have babies, we give you the medicines, we inoculate you. You got to take these vaccines because you get your money from us, so shut your mouth. You need us. You can't do anything yourself. You can't plant gardens, you can't do what you're also deprived of that and overtaxed, and there's just so much land, so the property value goes up, so you can't get your own plot of land for free like when they got it. Crossing the oceans, back after the end of the medieval ages. A renaissance would occur. A second renaissance would occur. If there's another continent to be discovered, but you don't know that because there's 47 bullies keeping you in. You in, you in, you in. The UN flag. I mean, they're laughing in your face. Take that diagram apart. You got the Star of David in there, you got the pentagram, you got the Pentagon. You align that up with the ancient Buddhist map, dated 819 AD, showing all the other continents. And there's like 5 close continents that fit that pentagram. And those concentric circles on the UN flag with the big circle in the middle, well, that's kind of the mockery of the flat earth, hiding it from you by imposing the cage of the heliocentric model. And each rung represents the orbital path of one of their Roman gods. The 8 gods they put up in the sky, with Pluto on the outside, the god of the underworld, the Satan. It's all coded there. That's why they have the Roman leaves. And those rungs representing the orbital path of your fake universe. Meanwhile, the flat earth right underneath. Cage, white lines, blue. Oh, because we're also going to like spray the air with white lines that are going to spread out, cage you in. Lockheed Martin is building an electromagnetic dome now. I guess they took my cue from that little argument I had from that witch. You know who you are. About just like melting the ice of Antarctica, repouring it in a mold with cable, turn that sucker on, salt water's electric. Hey, we got an electrical fence made out of ice, and we built it faster than the Great Wall of China. If you want a dome, they're building you a dome now. It's not even my suggestion anymore, or my implementation. But it is my idea, and let me tell you, I have ideas that I could say right now on camera. Tomorrow, somebody would go out and do it, and the world is finished. But I don't go there. And I'm not here to threaten you. But yeah, I have a lot of ideas. I have a very simple dots that can be connected to make a beautiful world. And I kind of have examples of what kind of world they're making, and then some. And wouldn't they like to know? Why would I do that? In time. It's all about them slipping, tripping, and spilling coffee all over the keyboard. Because I'm moving faster than the speed of light. Speed of thought. The mark of a shill, there are 4. Contain and push party line while infiltrating any truth movement. With the flat earth, we can see it with all sorts of whistleblowing, conspiracy theorists, research groups that are challenging and questioning the official narrative brought to you by your local television network with Doritos commercial breaks. Back to the dead bodies. First mark. Anti-capitalism. Anti-free enterprise. Free enterprise is the villain. You'll see it on the media too. And what's anti-free enterprise is pro-communist. And what's pro-communist is pro-government, which means government calls the shots, not you, not your God, not your creator, the government. And that little communist government front, that social welfare, liberal, leftist sort of take care of everybody, equality, you know, democracy of idiots, rule over the minority. Hey, excuse me, what about shut up? That little society, that's a cover for massive corporations now running little sections of your known prison. The second mark of the flat earth ship is they will come into the movement, and in order to contain it meaning from spreading to those who are in the Delta trance watching the TV news, but they're hearing stuff from their sister or their wild cousin about like, hey, what are you doing? It's flat. Kids and everything, man. Trade Center. Those guys, You know, the weird family all just sitting there, all lined up, in that fucking television trance state. You're not in that right now because this is a real frequency. I'm very interactive. It's firing off all the things you won't get from the two sides of the coin that they only want you to talk about. Only those two sides of any kind of topic. Not a third or fourth. No parallax. It's like this. It's like this. I show you this. You only get this side of it. If you're lucky, look at camera B and I'll show you this side of it. But you're not getting the whole thing. And you're not here with me to see if it's even full or if it's a sound effect. How much of your reality is dictated by a box image transmission machine? Yeah, and I'm crazy, huh? They will espouse the second trait, hatred towards a group. They'll be like, hey, yeah, math, it's flat, you're right, blah, 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 blah. You know what? The Jews did it. And then you're like stuck with this person. You're like, no, I knew you were going to do that. Or, yeah, you know what? It's those darn aliens. And you know what? It's the da-da-da-da-da. Know your enemy. They are using labels to hide theirs. Third, they will use the argument against the globe by stating it's backed by CGI and artwork, or artwork and CGI back fantastic speculative assumptions on the Earth being a ball. So the assumption, speculation, backed by artwork of a ball. And yet they will speculate and cite the Bible that they're in a dome and show an even more ridiculous artwork with no logic, not even fleshed out like the globalists took the time over the centuries to figure out. And the fourth mark of a flat Earth show is they will never bring up chemtrails, or they will mock it, dismiss it, or come up with a valid reason to spray the sky. I sat for a year watching them. Gotcha. Some have all four, or some have at least two. And if they don't have the three, they have the one, which is the hate. If you want to blame this on a religious group, like let's say Jewish people, and then go from that to saying Hitler wasn't a bad guy, you're also saying Nazis weren't that bad after all. You know, if you're going to say Hitler wasn't a bad guy, you're pretty much saying, and Nazis were good. You know, so I just couldn't believe that people are that fragmented in their thinking. You sure you want to associate this? You sure you want to put that? So you're going to say Israel's a problem, but it's neck and neck with, hey, wait a minute, the shape of the earth is a lie. I mean, it's really moot. Nations are a joke. Tribes and races are really a facade to control race mating and divide us within ourselves, conquer through division, divide and conquer, keep them busy here with the fear porn of each other and their color of their skin and their wacko religious beliefs, so they don't fucking figure out there's more over there. And show them the hypnosis of a globe. Unbelievable. You know? I need the women to get involved. People want to know, how come this thing didn't go mainstream? It's got to go mainstream. Why hasn't it gone mainstream? I'll tell you why. Because it's a sausage party of marginalized, angry, pissed off white men in dimly lit apartments talking on their computer webcam to each other, going around in circles with shit I already covered, because they're in a dick measuring contest to prove it's flat. It's done. Get some long distance with some zooms now. Get a site target, do the math. Get really long, 100, 200 miles from the ground. We don't need rockets and stupid air balloons. Just find a site target. There's a place in Phoenix, outside of Phoenix. I challenge anybody to go. It's called the San Francisco Lights. This is a legend. Apparently, on the right night, you might have to camp out with all the shit they're pouring on us. You can see from outside of Phoenix, at a certain elevation, the lights of San Francisco. Impossible on a testicle Earth. On your sack ball planet. Whizzing testicle up and down around the sun. Possible that distance to see the lights of San Francisco. Is it true? I don't know. But legend has it, kind of like the Josh Nowicki video. Not the photo. Because that photo's a still from a video. Watch the video and watch the whole skyline appear. The poor guy is holding on for dear life. That's the ability of oxygen and hydrogen and carbon to project and fax machine the entire skyline of Chicago exactly where it would be if it was flat. And the way it appears is because the angle of the sun against the plane at convergence creates a contrast against the buildings and the backdrop of the gases in the atmosphere behind the skyline. Fascinating image. Like a ghost appears when you see the skyline. It's blue, and then the sunset, and then suddenly the skyline just shows itself from the angle of the sun converging against this distance on the plane, popping, backlighting the silhouettes against the gases behind the skyline of Chicago. And like a ghost, it presents itself going, it's not at all. And you feel it. Hair lifts all over your body. As if the devil was caught himself fooling you. By the way, for the people who are trying to say I'm an extremist, I'm a performer, and an actor, and a painter, and an entertainer, and I do comedy, and I love the depth of travel. And this is the creative process. This is my creative process. You gotta stop art. You gotta stop creativity. Is that what you're gonna do? Yeah. Are we devolving? I mean, my MacBook Pro from 2011 has more FireWire USB ports than the MacBook of today. I can't even burn a CD on the computer today. I gotta store it in the cloud. What, so you can just erase it? Fucking bully! Taking control, all of you. Very weary of the tattoo ink. Barcode ink. Somebody said, you should do some comedy. Get back on stage, go to the comedy clubs. Ooh, it's like painful to watch. I think it was the movie A Dinner with Andre. Attempting to do theater production while the world goes into a free fall apocalypse is obscene. It's an act of obscenity. Would you have dessert if you got a bunch of axe murderers that are about to chase you? Huh? I don't need another piece of clothing that's got paint on it, or ripped jeans. That's right, those jeans were ripped before the car hit me, and they weren't the jeans I was wearing that day. So much foolery. And isn't it funny how, God forbid I believe in free enterprise. They don't want anybody to believe in free enterprise in this movement. They want all you guys doing this for free, so you can be impoverished. The last thing they want is the flat earth to become its own economic engine that would challenge the likes of Coke or General Motors or the Federal Reserve. Imagine if people started like getting employment from factories producing my flat earth map. I will get the coordinates, I will get the latitudes and longitudes of the flat plane and the order of all the corridors that we must take to get there. I will get that. Because that's what this is all about. This whole thing, every day, on the web, in reality, offline, people talking by the water cooler, losing their jobs, getting their kids taken away from them, is all about me having them feel confident in giving me the maps. To be the ambassador. Not one that is affiliated with the war machine of this section we call Earth. Or the elitist royals that wear big fancy jewels on their head with magic wands in their hands and capes. They don't want the likes of that in their area. It's archaic, it's an embarrassment. It shows how foolish we are because they manipulated us to believe in this little cartoon ball Earth, and we stay there in the middle, not ever going out, looking up. They must look at us like savages that could not be trusted going on their property. It's like that weird family that, you know, they're always yelling and they're always arguing in the backyard and they're throwing shit and the police are always there and then the other neighbors are having problems with them and you're always looking at them and you're like, I know that he's wrong and she has a point, but they're always arguing. I just don't want any of it on my land. Well, why wouldn't they want us over there? Because they're bigger, they have an equivalent amount of technology, maybe more people, they're probably more intelligent, and they don't want our domestic violence, because that's the way it looks on the greater scheme. If you're another world, alongside 500 or 1,000 miles off, and there's the other sun around their North Pole. That little yard, that weird family that's always fighting, they don't want it on their property. How's that? Pretty simple. See, I, once again, have a longer, distant view of what's going on. Not just physically and materially, spiritually, and possibly the point of view that I don't think is just inherent and innate to human beings watching other human beings go at it, and I don't want any on me. I think that would be innate for any creature that is mobile, eats, and pumps a heart full of blood through to its body to work, to operate. Lions and geese, they don't want to be around a bunch of people at a picnic yelling. And animals don't want to be around you. See, animals don't even trust you. They leave when you come close to them, and you might have a peanut in your hand. So can you imagine a more civilized, more technologically advanced and peaceful civilization? So they make a treaty. You guys do what you want with your group, or it's them that have hired the 47 nations to police us in, and they're conducting some sort of little lab experiment. And they're not friendly. They're the ones controlling this section. People often say to me, we can get into Gandhi myth with this whole thing if you want. Call this myth creation, right? Well, we know it's math creation. Just subtract and add the facts. You know, subtract the lies to have only the addition of facts. Complete answers. Complete knowing. And not this placation of belief. Well, I guess it's like that out there. You'll see that movie with Matt Damon. There wouldn't even be a movie industry if we knew everything. that there was to know about the ground and the world, and there was more. Because most of the stuff you look at is like obscenity. It's like fear fantasy about the fake world you live in. Have you ever noticed that with a Hollywood movie? Show them the globe. That's at stake. Show them the villain. Show the hero. We gotta say that constantly. And this other device, every movie, is it just me? Or every movie is about a bunch of people in an area that discover there's more area. Tomorrowland, Divergent, Mockingjay, not Dark City, it was nothing. It was just a floating arcade, medieval disc. Elysium, Matrix. Like whatever reality you had, you find out there was another reality. That's like every movie. Have you not noticed? They're like casting a spell on you. Hollywood. It's magic wand. Oh, the story about how Hollywood was created. P.W. Griffith, look it up. P.W. Griffith Award. Yeah, got shot by his wife. Started not trusting his wife because the Pope was calling his home to get the property where now resides the Hollywood sign. And the Vatican Jesuit-controlled conservatory to look at the stars. Right next to the sign. You type in that sign, you're not allowed to go there. But it will take you to the Jesuit conservatory to look up in space. Where did the shuttle retire? In Hollywood. The last thing they want is just to become a job creator. Because then I'm putting people to work with the flat earth. Maps, pens, shirts, expedition, television rights, working with casinos to record it, building snowcats that go distances of 10,000 miles and run on the ice. They just scoop up the snow and extract the hydrogen and fuel the cells, and it's perpetual power off the ice. Or is there even ice and we're just going to have a huge ocean straight corridor to the next geothermal Earth or Atlantis? Right? Am I crazy? Or am I using my density and a motionless plane to manipulate physics to create something? It's not just going to be a splatter. That's just the base. What was that hand signal? That was all the fingers, folks. I'm a master mason or something, is that it? Nope. Fully integrated human being. You should join me. Ah, you missed the boat. You didn't make your choice at 2. 2 years old. I haven't changed. I have advanced. Still the same thing, complete. Born of a woman. Beautiful mother. And what they put her through? Wow. And that's ongoing. That's ongoing. She thinks they're taking care of her. Stockholm syndrome. And you know what I'm talking about. I'll disclose that. And its connection to the Vatican. Right? Yeah, that's been going on. But that's not what's driving me. What's driving me is the creative process. And also, when is it not flat? Where's the non-flat part? Just tell me when it's not flat. That's it. I'm just looking for when it's not flat. Searching for a curvature. Searching for curves. Searching for curvy. Where's that Disney movie? Searching for Kirby. Curvature of the earth. Curvature of the ocean water. Say it. Bending ocean. Well, that must be the curving water of the ocean. Oh, that's because all the water's curving. Oh, we can't see it because the water's curving. You mean the sea level? Shouldn't you be saying sea curve? You're 1,000 feet up above sea curve? No, 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 you can't call it level. You just said there was a big, huge curve. Levels are level. You know, even when you use a level, there's like water in the level, and we use the water to show how level the level is, so you can measure how level the horizon is where you're playing on the flat ground. So you see if it's level with the flatness of the ground. You know, the horizon. Root word for horizontal. Oh, there's another one you can't use. You gotta measure it. What about that tunnel they built through the Alps? Did they measure the curvature? Because you're building a tunnel. You want to stay in the ground. If you don't take that curvature into calculation, you might think you're still on the ground and you're gonna pop right out in a ski resort. Did they calculate the curvature for that tunnel? Or the channel? No, they didn't. Ask them, do some research. See, I don't have time. What I've done is, I've been able to paint paintings and change the world because of my passion to provoke you to prove me wrong. I'm educating you through provocation. This guy is so fucking arrogant. This asshole. Who the fuck is this guy? Why is he so sure of this shit? That's impossible somebody's that sure. I've never seen anybody that sure on anything. And this guy's shirt's flat. Yeah, that's what surety is. Assurance. Surfing it. Yeah. Yeah, if this becomes an economic engine, and people are like taking out mortgages based off a flat earth salary, or they're doing some flat earth product or educational book. We gotta think about everything that's, you need the globe to make that product, or the globe is implicated in the concept of that product. That's a lot of economy, folks. Weather, how it really is, a weather channel with flat plane, chemtrails, like some real weather updates. Maybe a couple insiders would pay you. You know, you tell us what they're dropping today. Honestly, let's get it going. All sorts of mathematical calculations. You know, maps, basically frisbees. But even the bigger ones. You know, expeditions. Sending out ships and people and search parties and scientists. Oh, there is more land. Oh, there's some people. Okay, bigger defense budget. I mean, even the defense industry could like benefit from this if they're hostile. But that's it. Maybe those people are also looking at us like we're this massive neighbor of neighbors not getting along. And they're like, they also saw what we did when we discovered areas in our section, what we did to those people. They're like, those people, or that empire, which is basically the British Empire, or now the New World Order. It's the same thing. They all came together. It's the royals, right? The bankers and the Vatican, that group. We saw how those guys were, the bankers, the Vatican, and the royals, when they went there, and how, look how they treat those people. Those people are not to be trusted. We've seen how they've taken over that whole area, and they do that to them, and those people are any wiser, and they're all fooled, so all those people are not to be trusted. Not one of them, especially the ones that are coming here with guns and ships and tanks, like they did right after World War II. Man, they got a lot of shit done, huh? World War II is over, it was like, all right, Cold War, Iron Curtain, Berlin Wall, everybody divvy up Antarctica, North Korea, you want a peace? Because we're going to have shit with you in about a decade. It's like, was North Korea even formed then? How does North Korea have a peace in Antarctica when Antarctica was formed in like 47? Wasn't the Korean War after? It's like, all right, you guys want some of this Antarctica? We got a slice left. Somebody figured out that. I mean, it's just memory here, firing off. No fluoride. Yeah. I mean, wow. My diary. I like that. Something didn't work here. So, none of this would have happened if it wasn't flat. I would have gone flying off into space. This would have hit me in the teeth. There'd be paint all over the place. The property owner would be furious. It wouldn't even exist. There'd be no building. It's like, none of this would be going on if the Earth was spinning like a big, huge testicle with a layer of curving ocean water, spinning without it flying off into space, 1,000 miles an hour, while clocking a speed around the sun at 65,000 miles per hour. None of that. What do you do for the movement? What research do you do? I look at the ground very closely every second of the day. I know what I'm talking about. I watch how things form, coagulate, evaporate. Temperature, solidity, all of it. Evaporation, dry timed, viscosities, densities, and just fascinating myself. How I can organize it into a concert of woven melodies. We got a little more time here and paint. Mother, bugger, dugger. This. Figuring it out, you know. We're all trying to figure it out. And the fractal, and the, you know, the infinity, and the physical force to stand. Creationism.
Thank